I'm live. Well, hello, hello. Hey from Dallas. Dallas in the house. Yeah, my son would be super embarrassed if he saw me do that right now. So don't anybody show. So what's up, guys? I am doing a little market report for you because it's January 2025 and everyone is asking the question of the moment. What is going to happen in the real estate market? What just happened? What is happening? All the things. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So if you're thinking about moving to the Dallas area and you're looking for some advice, be sure to subscribe and like all my videos and learn about Dallas so that you can be an informed consumer. So let's get started with our little report. I have notes I prepared, but I need my glasses. So here we go. Looking studious. I've got some lights reflecting, but we're good. Okay, so what are we doing right now? What's going on in the market? I think a good place to start would be what happened in the market. So 2024 was a little bit rough. Okay. That was not a good year. Quarter one, slow. It was slow. January was slow. Fall 2023 was slow. That was a rough one. And then January 2024, that was rough. And then all of a sudden, spring break happened in March. And on my way back, my phone started ringing off the hook. I had people calling me. It was like a wave of buyers and sellers and everybody just, it was happening. So we thought, okay, like this is going to be a good year. This is happening right now. My buyers were out there. We were looking, we were getting the offers in, but it depends on where you were looking by what was happening. So in Dallas, the market really was kind of, it was kind of, it picked up, around March, but the suburbs were going crazy. We were having multiple offers and, things were going over asking, and it was like flashbacks of 2021. So I was a little bit like, what's going on here? I mean, this is going to be a great year, I guess, but I mean, why is Dallas not so great? The suburbs doing so well? Well, honestly, I don't know. I think maybe Dallas probably, it's more expensive in Dallas, number one. So that probably had something to do with it. I think a lot of people last year were trying to move out of Dallas because they were not so happy with Dallas. And I will tell you, I wouldn't be so happy with Dallas either. Dallas County is not great. Dallas County is not great. And the city of Dallas is not great. I said it. Okay. I said it. It's not great. It was a little bit, it's gone a little bit downhill. Okay. Really kind of, okay. Before everybody gets mad, it depends on where you are in Dallas. Now, if you are in the really nice areas, then you're looking good. Okay. But that's because you're in the really nice areas. But when you venture out into the other areas where, regular people live, it's getting dicey. Okay. A lot of homeless people. They started putting big, like craggy rocks around the overpasses and even like chain link fences around there because they didn't want the homeless people getting under there. And they were, having little campgrounds and we didn't used to see that in Dallas. So that was going on and people weren't liking it. And it was kind of getting a little dirty in a lot of areas. We don't have the greatest downtown here. We don't, not like Fort Worth. Our Dallas downtown is coming along. It's getting better, but I mean, Dallas people, okay, I said it. So anyway, a lot of people were tired of it and they were moving out of Dallas and moving up to the suburbs. So I think that had a lot to do with it. But anyway, so we had this big wave of buyers and I don't know what happened, you guys. June, it's like we hit a wall. We hit a wall and nobody was buying anything. Properties weren't moving. I mean, they were a little, but I mean, it was rough. We had listings out there that were nice houses that were priced appropriately and you couldn't even get someone to come look at it. I mean, it was really bad. So, the interest rates were up and that was a problem and people were in shock by, I'm going to have to pay this interest rate. And, the prices went up so much in 2020, like 20%. So people are having sticker shock, and, it was just not a good summer. Normally in Dallas, the market drops off. Well, it doesn't drop off. It just kind of slows a little bit, and it depends on the price point. But it does slow a little bit in the luxury market around 4th of July because a lot of people have second homes. So they're escaping the heat. They're heading to, Aspen or wherever, and they're cooling off. So that's kind of when we see a little dip in the luxury market. Regular folks are still shopping on through about when school starts. Your average market would be, around when school starts to drop off. So that's not what we saw last year. We saw it come to a screeching halt basically June. So that was definitely not fun. Did not love that at all. And it was rough. So we sold some houses. We still did, mostly cash buyers. I had a lot of cash buyers last year. So, that was good. I was glad about that. But not everybody has that much cash sitting around. And I mean, we're talking people were buying over $1 million properties in cash because they didn't want to pay the interest, but not everybody can do that. So that brings us to this year. Well, actually, no, we didn't talk about the rest of the year. So on through the fall, it was bad. Now, here's what it was. Here, let me take a sip. I'll tell you. You like my little Frenchie in a sweater? He's cute. Okay. So in the fall, not a lot going on in the fall. It was rough because people were scared. They were scared. The election was coming, and that's what everybody was saying. They were all like, the rates are high and the election. So it was really just about the uncertainty, I think, because I was hearing it from both sides of the aisle. Didn't have anything to do with, who they thought was going to win. It just had to do with, we don't know who's going to win. We don't know which direction we're going in. At least if we know, then we know what we're dealing with. But no one had any idea. So people were just sitting on the sidelines in the fall. There were a lot of people that wanted to purchase, but were just like, let me just wait and see. So on through after the election, we did have a little bit of people, they returned to the market because so many properties had been sitting from the summer still. So we had some people take advantage of that. And then, but it was the holidays. So, who really wants to get out? I mean, it was a quick Christmas season. We lost a week this Christmas season because we had a late Thanksgiving. So, moms were stressing. I'm a mom and I was stressing. So all my friends were stressing. So I know that's what was happening. So anyway, people were not feeling like shopping for a house when they were shopping for their gifts. So people started saying, I'm going to wait till the first of the year. Well, now that brings us to what is going on now. Okay, so I do need my glasses for this. So we are still in a buyer's market. So have no fear. We are in a buyer's market. We thought the rates were going to come down a little bit last year, but they didn't. They stayed around, they got as high as 8%. So that was a little bit rough, but anyway, they're back down around 7 right now. So that's pretty good, but we are expecting a little decrease. So I'm going to get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me follow my notes here. Okay. Getting off track. All right. So I should explain about the rates. So not everybody realizes. Everybody kept saying, well, the feds lowered the rates. The feds lowered the rates. Well, yeah, okay, they did, but that doesn't have anything to do with mortgages. It's a different rate. Okay, that's like your credit card rates and, that kind of thing. So the mortgage rates follow the treasury yields. So when inflation is high, then your treasuries are going to stay high. So let me explain. I don't want to confuse people. Okay. So inflation up, treasury up, mortgage rate up. Okay. But when inflation slows down, treasury bonds slow down, and then the mortgage rates follow the treasury bonds. So that's what happened. So the interest rate stayed up because we had so much inflation. Well, it's kind of slowed a little bit. Well, that's what they're saying. I mean, I don't really know, but that's what they're saying. So if that is in fact true, then we do expect things to get a little bit better as far as mortgage rates. Okay. So, election, people were struggling, people were broke, all that was happening. Okay, so what do we foresee for this year? That's what I just got off a phone call about that, and I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so the prices have normalized a little bit. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, the prices are dropping and, we're all losing money and all that." Well, no. You're not losing money. I mean, now if you bought super high and you're turning around and selling it right away, then you might lose money because you're going to have realtor fees and you're going to have things like that. Expenses, that come along with selling. So don't sell too fast. You need to let it appreciate a little bit. Okay. We're not appreciating at 20% anymore. Okay. That was 2021. We are in normal land now. So things are still appreciating. It's not that prices are just dropping through the floor. It's that people are pricing things too high and then they're going for what they actually should go for. So prices are actually up year over year from last year, but they're up only 3%. That's normal. That's what it should be. So I'm actually kind of excited about a normal year. Everything's been so crazy up and down. I mean, well, it hasn't gone down yet. It's just been keep going up exponentially. So I am actually looking forward to a little bit of a stable market this year. That's kind of what we're looking at. So I don't expect to see a lot of closings in January because people weren't out shopping yet. People just got out shopping now. So I have had so many people. So people said, first of the year, let's get through the holidays. And I will tell you what, they did. 2 days into the new year, my phone is ringing. Ringing, ringing, ringing. People moving here, people moving within the Metroplex, people wanting to list. I mean, it was like, oh, we're in the new year, and they were following through. I wasn't the one following up with them because I was still hanging out. The week between Christmas and New Year's, I'm hanging out. I'm in my comfy pants, okay? But I was happy because my phone was ringing, and I'm happy to talk about it. And that's what's happening. So buyers were coming out. So we are seeing active buyers. And I know if my buyers are out, all the other realtors' buyers are out. So we talk amongst ourselves in the brokerage, and people are shopping. So that's good. I also talked to one of my mortgage brokers, and he said that the applications for mortgages, those are up too. So that's a good sign that people are out there. So not just my buyers, but everybody else is out there. I've already put in an offer this year. I mean, we're only a couple weeks into January, and I've already put in an offer on a house, and we didn't get it. It was multiple offers in January. I was like, okay, well, here you go. Don't sit around. So here's the thing. Buyers are motivated and they're back in the market. And they're getting used to the rates. They're getting used to like a new normal. So we do expect the rates to go down a little bit, maybe like a point sometime this year, if all goes according to plan. But the rates have been what they are for long enough. And we have a lot of pent up demand here in the Dallas area, and people are still moving here. So, people are getting used to that this is what the rate is. And it's not really going very far, if anywhere. And you can refi. And a lot of lenders will even refi for free if it's within like 6 months. Like if the rate goes down and you're freaking out about your rate that you got, a lot of times they'll refi for you. So don't worry. Okay, we have answers for everything. So we do think it's going to be a strong first quarter because, people are taking advantage of the discounts from the fall. There's property sitting on the market and people are coming out to get those. So that's what I'd be doing. We've got some people that are trying to lock in the low price, which, I mean, that's the smart thing to do if you ask me. Lock in the low price right now while things are kind of discounted, get one that's been sitting on the market. Then, you've got your rate and then you can refi. So, I mean, I think that's the best way to go. But so people are trying to do that. They're locking in the price and then they're hoping that the rate's going to go down. They're going to refi. We've got some people that are afraid it's going to go up. I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, I think it would be smart to lock in the rate now. So you have, so you can get in, so you don't get priced out of the market. But buyers have more options right now, so it's good for you guys. We've got 30% more on the market this January than we had last January. So you've got some choices right there. So people are moving here all the time still. I mean, it got real crazy for a minute with people moving here. There were like 400 people moving here per day in 2021, 350, 400, something like that. It's pretty crazy. Now it is about 80 people per day. So that's not that bad. We've slowed down a lot, but still people coming. Okay, so what does this all mean for the prices? I mean, we already said that the homes are still appreciating 3% a year right now. So sounds to me like the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. So you might think about that. We are seeing a lot of builders giving incentives. So your new construction homes that are up in the burbs, because we don't have a lot of big developments down in Dallas, because Dallas is already built out. So you're seeing one-offs. People are buying houses and tearing them down, or they're building on a lot, where there has never been a house. So that's what you're seeing down there. But the new construction, big developments like master plan communities are going to be up in the suburbs. So we're seeing a lot of discounts on that, lender incentives and builder incentives. And all a builder incentive really is that you close by a certain day on a certain house, and because they have it in inventory and they need to get rid of it. And then they'll give you a discount to move it. So we're seeing on average about $35,000 off of that asking price. So that is very good. But let's talk about the relocation trends that we are seeing. Like I said, about 80 people a day are still moving here. But it's very interesting because I looked at some data on Redfin, and this is just from their searches. Okay, now we can't verify that this is actually, how, the exact percentage of people who are actually moving here, but this is what they're getting from their searches. So it's people thinking about it is what it is. So 74% of the searches are people in Dallas that are trying to move around Dallas. So, okay, people are moving here and they're not necessarily leaving. About 26% would be leaving Dallas, whether that's going to the suburbs or another state. I don't know, but just Dallas in general. And 2% of the searches across the whole United States are to move to Dallas. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. And I found a little data on who all is moving here. So let's talk about that. Maybe this is where you're from. So people moving to Dallas, number one, we've got Los Angeles, California. I mean, I can't blame you. San Francisco, California. Can't blame you. Seattle, Washington. Miami, Florida. Number 5 is New York, New York. 6 is Washington, D.C. 7, Chicago, Illinois. 8 is Richmond, Virginia. 9 is Boston, Massachusetts. And 10 is Sacramento, California. That's interesting. All places where it's kind of a hot mess right now. So come to Texas. Come here where it is a little bit more chill. Okay, people are cool here. The state lets us kind of do what we want, and we don't have state income tax, so we get to keep our money. It's cheaper to live here, and we get to keep our money. Okay, so, and this I thought was very interesting because they are telling me where people are moving, well, where they're searching to move for the people who are leaving Dallas. So I was like, well, wonder where that is. Phoenix, Arizona, number 1. Austin, Texas, number 2. Now, okay, let me tell you all about Austin. We have an office in Austin too. And that is the most expensive city in Texas. So, I mean, Dallas is pretty expensive. So I was like, wow, I'm surprised that's the number 2 place that people are moving to. Houston is number 3 and pretty expensive in Houston also. I don't know if Dallas is more expensive or not. I feel like Houston is, but anyway. San Antonio, also number 4. Okay. Number 5 is Buffalo, New York. Thought that was interesting. Denver, Colorado. Well, I mean, that's pretty. I would like to live in the mountains. 7, Tucson, Arizona. 8, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, Tulsa's cute. I like Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's kind of like Fort Worth, and I really like Fort Worth. I'm a big fan. 9, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Okay, so people aren't going too far. And then number 10 is Tyler, Texas. I was like, really? I mean, Tyler's great and all, but I'm just really surprised that made the top 10. So, okay. But isn't that interesting? The places that people are moving? I really thought, I mean, if I'm leaving here, I mean, I'm not, but if I were, I'd be going somewhere where, it had really good weather or something. But people are staying in Texas. They're just moving around Texas. And honestly, I thought about that myself. I thought, it's hot here. I don't really like the weather. Okay. I really don't like the weather. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot because I love to complain about it. It is my number 1 favorite thing to complain about. So you're going to hear that a lot. And I don't like it. Okay. I said it and I'll say it again. I really don't. But when I think about where would I go? Where would I go? There's nowhere else I can go. I like Texas. I like doing what I want to do. I like that, let's just say it. I like that the government is not, like trying to, strangle the life out of me. We are free here. We can do what we want. And we have laws like everywhere else, but, people are pretty good about following the laws here. We don't have a whole lot of crime. I feel safe walking around. Yeah, people can carry guns here. We're big gun people in Texas. Everybody has one. If you don't, then you're the weird one. Okay, so we have guns here. I feel fine walking around with everybody. And honestly, I feel safer because I know if somebody comes out and they're going ballistic, then guess what? Somebody's probably right there that has their own. So Texas is a good spot. I don't know where else I would go. We can vacation anywhere we want. We're in the middle of the country. American Airlines flies right out of DFW and they go everywhere. It's a main hub. So anyway, okay, I said my piece. I like Texas. I don't know where I'm going to go. Hate the weather, but I like Texas. So anyway, to wrap it up, I would not expect anything crazy this year. It's not going to be like 2021. I'm expecting a very nice, normal, even keel market. Now, we are going to have a bump. March, April, May, June, those are our busier months. And if a place is updated, because nobody wants to update anything anymore, they want it all done, which I think it's a better investment. I can't give advice on that. I mean, so, nobody hold me legally liable for this, but, I think it's a better investment to get something that needs a little updating, do it yourself, and then boom, you have instant equity. But, nobody wants to do anything. Nobody knows how to do anything, and they don't want to deal with it. So they want it already done. And I get it. You want to buy it, you want to put it on Instagram, and there you go. Well, that's going to cost you a little bit extra because everybody wants that. So if you're shopping for what everybody wants, you're probably going to end up in a multiple offer situation. I mean, it's January and I just ended up in one already. So it was an updated house. It was a great house, great location. So depending on the location and depending on how updated it is, how it's priced. I mean, if it's priced way too high, then you're not going to end up that way. But if it's priced reasonably, then it's very possible. Now, I don't expect to see crazy stuff like we saw where it was 50,000, 100,000 over. I don't expect to see that. But you'll see 10,000, 15,000 over. And now when you're in a multiple offer situation, you also need to understand that you're going to be paying, if you're the buyer and you actually want to win, then you need to realize that you're going to be paying over asking, at least by a little bit, depending on, what the competition is doing. So, 10, 15,000 over. You're going to be paying the title policy. You're going to be paying for the survey. You're going to do a short option, because we have an option period here in Texas. Let me explain it, okay? Because if you don't know what it is, you need to know. It's a negotiated number of days that you pay for, and that is the time that you negotiate. That's when you have your inspections done, and that's when you negotiate repairs. Now, this amount of time can be 1 day, or it can be 10 days. I mean, it could be longer, but I don't ever see anybody do longer than a 10-day. 10-day used to be normal, but now, 7 days reasonable. I mean, if it's been sitting on the market a long time and you're not in multiple offers, you could do a 10-day, maybe, probably. But, if they want to get rid of it, 10 days. But generally, you can get everything done in 7 days. But if you're in a multiple offer situation, then we're going to throw down 3 days. Now, it depends on the house. Now, if it's a house that we don't think has anything wrong with it, I can get it inspected. We can get the report back, and we will have no problem with that. So your option fee is negotiable also. If you're a multiple offer and you want to look serious, then you might want to do $500, excuse me. I got tongue-tied. $500, you could do $1,000, but it's an amount of money that you need to be willing to walk away from. It's your option to back out of the contract without any penalty, except for losing that option fee. Now, if you don't back out, then that gets applied to your price, to your closing costs and all that. So if you are pretty sure that the house is good and you want to look really serious, but you're not going to back out, then you can go in saying, hey, look, 3-day option, we'll give you $1,000 for that. And then you don't back out and you still keep your $1,000. So anyway, it's a nice thing to have. So in a multiple offer situation, you want to be good with your terms. You want to do as quick of a close as you can. You want to get underwritten ahead of time so that you can waive your financing contingency. That's all stuff we can go over if you'd like to book a strategy call. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see how it goes, and we'll see if things change up. I'll do another report in February to let you know how it's going, to let you know if we're seeing, all of this in action and what's going on. And, if you're thinking about moving to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, then hit me up. Give me a call. Book a little Zoom. You can book a Zoom call so we can chat face-to-face. I like the Zoom call. We can do a regular call, but I like a Zoom call because I want to see you. If you're relocating here, I'm not going to be, seeing you on the regular. So I like to see your face and get to know you a little bit so we can do a little Zoom call. And, you're not obligated to sign up for anything. We can just talk and kind of discuss whether or not it's right for you to move here and what you're looking at, your timeline, your price point, and all those things. It's a chance for us to get to know each other, to decide if we want to work together. So if you'd like to do that, my contact information is in the description below. My team and I would love to help you make a smooth transition to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I will see you next time. Until then, T-Bird out. Don't tell my son I did that. Don't tell him I did it.